Hello, this is Phaserlight. I just wanted to give you some impressions of Vendetta Online on the Gear VR. Vendetta has been out on the Gear VR for about a week now, and it's had some time to make its way across the Oculus store. People have been testing it, leaving their feedback, and I've had the chance to spend many hours in Vendetta so far in virtual reality, and I just wanted to give some of my initial thoughts and impressions on the experience, what it's like, the good, the bad. This is going to be a little different than my usual videos just because it's going to be mostly uncut. I'm not going to show you just the interesting parts, but I'm going to try and give you a better idea of what the whole experience is like. And this video is not just going to be about Vendetta, but it'll also be about the Gear VR in general. I use the 2016 version of the Gear VR. It's the black chassis, and I have a Samsung Galaxy S6 phone. Let me just state right off the bat that virtual reality, even though it's a mobile phone, has far exceeded my expectations. It is so convincing, and the videos really just do not do it justice. There is no way you can really grasp what the experience is like just from watching a video. You can kind of tell from the frame here that, yeah, okay, so I'm moving my head and the game displays wherever I'm looking at, and yeah, that might seem like it's kind of gimmicky, but again, the video does not do it justice. It doesn't show the qualia of what it's like to look at an asteroid and then look somewhere else, notice, oh hey, there's a ship over there, but to still have that subconscious knowledge that, oh yeah, if I look back over where I was looking before, I'm going to see that same asteroid. That creates a real sense of coherency to the experience that is just super convincing. Not necessarily so much when you're in the Gear VR, but once you take it off, the kind of mnemonic residue there, if you will, is wow, that was just incredible. It really feels like a extensive, consistent space. And the other thing that you don't get from these videos is the stereoscopy. And what that means is that each eye is shown a slightly different image, just like in real life. So you get depth perception, in other words. You have that 3D effect, but it doesn't look like a 3D movie because you're not seeing all the people in the rows of seats ahead of you. You're not seeing anything else in real space. All you're seeing is that digital space. And it really harks back, I think, to what sci-fi authors like William Gibson were predicting in books like Neuromancer when he talked about the Matrix. This really seems to be sort of like what he had in mind. I've been a Vendetta Online player since June 2nd, 2003. I've been playing this game for a long time, and I was recently reading a post on the internet about how games have kind of evolved to the point where it's not that uncommon to be playing a game that has been around for a while. Playing a game for 13 years used to be unheard of, really, a video game at least. And today that's really not as uncommon as I first expected. For example, in the 90s, it was basically unheard of to be playing a game that came out in the 80s. In the 2000s, the aughts, if you will, it was a little more common to maybe be playing a game that was launched in the 90s. And in this decade, it's really not that uncommon at all to be playing a game that has been launched in the 2000s. And Vendetta Online really exemplifies to me, what I consider a good game. And the reason for that is kind of what I've been showing you here, that the basic surface gameplay loop looks very simple, but it really gives you a lot of freedom to do whatever you want, and the game responds to your actions as a player over time. And I'm not just talking about vertical progression, like, yeah, okay, your licenses go up, which unlocks new and better equipment, and that does happen. But there are also all kinds of unpredictable, chaotic things at work underneath the surface. For example, if I'm trading a certain good to a station, the sell price for that good may go down over time, but a related good, meanwhile, may be getting more and more demand. So somebody else who is playing the game may all of a sudden be making an unexpected profit through my actions. So although it looks like a very simple game, there's really a lot going on underneath the surface, both in combat and also through things like trading. I've heard the lead developer compare it to an old 1980s game. I think it's called Karak. I could be wrong on that. But basically, I've never played Karak, but the core gameplay there is you buy products when the purchase price is low, you go to where those products are in demand, and you sell them at a higher price. And Vendetta really does have that kind of core gameplay loop in play. And there's a really great interview by Space Game Junkie where the lead developer will talk about this and kind of everything that's going on beneath the surface of this game. It's a 2 hour and 40-minute long interview, actually, excuse me. I'll link to it in the video description. Overall, though, I'm very impressed with Gear VR and Vendetta's implementation in virtual reality. I really believe this is the way the game was meant to be played, and you owe it to yourself to check it out.